There is no reason, rhyme, or rhythm as to why Brianna should be in the hospital. None of it. The fact is, on December 6th, Orlando Regional Medical Center, also known as ORMC, downtown Orlando, Florida, the hospital staff on speaker with adult protectives contacted me not once but twice. They wanted to make sure that Brianna and I were going to be safe because of the fact that Brianna was found and she was under a protective name. At that point, that's when, again, Orlando Police Department and Orange County Sheriff's Department failed us, and so did the hospital. And let me tell you how. Orlando Regional Medical Center requested that I send them all the information I could. I did that. I sent it by email. I have correspondence of that, okay? So does Channel 6 Investigates out of Orlando, and it just happens to be that that reporter's name is Brianna. Channel 6 Investigates is not able to get any records or reports. She's requested them. They refuse to give them. That's a transparency issue. The only reason why they would do that is not because they have an overload, but perhaps because if they wanted to help the situation, they wouldn't be hindering the situation. If they hadn't gotten something to hide, they would have already released the information. Because why? It's public knowledge. The reports and records from the police are public knowledge. So there's your transparency issue with Orange County and Orlando. But it started with Volusia County. Michael Chitwood, who was the chief, who is right next door to Orlando, Orange County, who is also right next door to Marion County. Now you see, it started with Volusia County, Michael Chitwood denying to do anything about the report that his deputy had entered, Mossad, okay? I think it was Brian Mossad, something like that. Anyways, I have all the records of that case and the case number that was entered into the computer for Brianna's missing person report. She was noted to be missing from Daytona Beach. It ends up being that Brianna was in a hospital near death from October 10th to 19th. From there, we don't know what happened other than her perpetrator, a guy named Terry Ontario. He's listed on Facebook, Ontario-Terry. Okay? He's the one that took her into ORMC, emergency room. He's also the one that they kept on asking me if I knew anything about him. No, I don't know anything about him, but I looked him up and found that it's nothing good to know about him. He's part of the human trafficking. He's what happened to Brianna. He force-fed Brianna. She was able to speak after a week of being released, almost a week and a half of being released to me, and nurturing her and doing home health with her. She got better and she was able to finally speak. There's all kinds of witnesses to the fact that Brianna was in a very bad delusional state of mind, was okay, then she wasn't. She'd cry and she was okay. She was very thin. She had an appetite, but she was very well abused, and proof and facts of pictures and witnesses. It was a very bad situation. Now, knowing that Orlando Regional Medical Center are the mandated reporters, December 4th, it is noted that an officer went over, but that Brianna wasn't at the hospital. That's what Deputy Graham told me. Well, it ends up being that that's a fucking lie, and they would never tell me who the officer or deputy was that put that in their report. But the fact is, Brianna wasn't released from the hospital until December 6th. So how is it that they can get away with saying A, that she wasn't there, and then B, they turn around and say that Brianna refused to do a rape kit? No, she did not. You've got the cop saying that she wasn't there, and then you got the other one saying that she refused the kit. Where's the fucking truth? The truth is, she was there, and nobody went to see her. That's the truth. So isn't that why Orlando, Officer Pagan, who was a human trafficking officer who gave this case to Deputy Detective Graham Gate, they haven't done anything, right? They were supposed to get an advocate on the case, and they didn't do that. And so then I call Internal Affairs, who tells me that, yes, she has the right to an advocate, and she should have already been assigned one. However, she wasn't. Why wasn't she assigned one? So then we end up at the motel, thinking that, for a second it was going to be a safe area because there was, convenience there. If we needed it, there was an emergency room down the road. However, Brianna was still scared and not really talking. But she came out of it and she started talking about what was happening. Well, she wanted to find a way and help her find a way to get us safely back home because Lady Lake, Florida had taken my vehicle. So now we're stranded. So she made a call to a place that's supposed to help an organization, and she just told them that she was looking for a ride. At the same time, the housekeeping staff at Days Inn in Ocala West apparently made a phone call and said that Brianna was acting oddly and they had needed assistance. They wanted her to be checked. So the cops show up at my door. I was walking out the door when they're knocking on the door. They asked her Brianna. I said, that's her right there. I had no idea what they were doing. I thought maybe they were sent there to talk to her about the case of the human trafficking and sex trafficking. So I was giving her privacy and went out the door with my dog. Well, when I come back, after seeing the police are leaving, I come back into the room and Brianna's gone. Nobody would answer to me as to where she was at. It ends up that they took Brianna, they had her evaluated, they took her to a hospital, and the doctor at the hospital was antagonizing Brianna and telling her that, well, if she didn't agree to this and that, then on Wednesday they were going to take her in front of the judge and they were going to have her committed. So she agreed to having the Haldol, and she agreed to being shot up with it for a 30-day dose, which it overdosed her. They ended up taking her to Advent Healthcare, which is a hospital, because her heart rate lowered so bad. They released her. They didn't call me or anything until December 26th. Why didn't they call me before December 26th when all this was going on? Well, I don't know. But they called me December 26th, the day after Christmas. Remember, they took her on Wednesday, December 22nd. I don't get the call. I had been out looking for her, spent all day December 25th handing out flyers. And then I get the call on December 26th that she was in the medical. Why did Marion County? Marion County knew that I had made the call. Detective Graham knew the situation. Everybody knew the situation, and I had put it out here. So why didn't anybody do anything at that time about it? Those are all questions and answers I'd like. So I'm addressing Marion County about that, and I'm addressing Orlando and Orange County about that, as well as Orlando Regional Medical Center, downtown Orlando, and Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services. Knowing you all knew what was going on full well. Desiree Leo, I overheard the conversation. Chris Mitchell, I overheard the conversation. As well as the girl that was on duty, on call, Saturday morning when Brianna was having to get on that bus all by herself. I have her on audio record and shared to YouTube as she knew she was recorded. Therefore, I have all proof and fact that all of Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, directed by Attorney General TJ Donovan, very well aware of everything that's happened. The Vermont State Police, very well aware of Brianna's medical conditions and letting and allowing this to happen, aiding and abetting in the situation. And obviously violating her disability rights and more. Therefore, these are all more reasons why we're filing in the lawsuits.